Welcome back to Mysterious Pals. My name's Chris. And this week, Jordan's on board to take us on a journey.
Yeah.
Jordan, how are you doing this week?
I am great, Chris. How are you?
Great. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And you're going to take us on a ride.
Sure am.
Mysterious ride.
That's what we do.
That's all we got to do.
That's all
we really got. We're one-trick ponies. Well, I think this episode is going up the week after Christmas here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
That would be New Year's Eve, I think it goes, or the day before New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And the first, we'll be launching a new show.
Is that when we're doing it?
Well, the first of the year.
This is
supposed to be on Tuesdays, so I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, at the time of this recording, in the next day or two, look for a new show called The Watch Pals.
We're really leaning into the Pals theme.
Got a brand.
Yeah, it's a brand. Branding. Yeah. The umbrella.
You don't even know what's coming next.
Umbrella.
Wait till we start the Pals. Look for The Watch Pals. Is a show about movies where myself, Jordan, and Brian and Jeff, who have been on previous episodes of this show.
Yeah, the
Cream Team on Twitch.
Yep.
They're in Bethlehem the band.
Yeah, who does the intro
and
first.
outro. Yep.
Yeah, Brian was on the Zodiac Killer episode.
Yeah.
Jeff was on
He was on 2 episodes. He was on the one about
the Hinterkaifeck
murders and the meat showers.
Yep.
Kentucky meat shower.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound. Yeah.
Sounds dumb. Yeah. So anyway, we are doing a show about movies. We're going to pick a movie every week. We're going to watch it. We're going to talk about it. How great and terrible, or terrible and great it is.
Yeah, running the gambit with that. It could be good. It could be bad. Some we've never even seen before.
Oh yeah, most of them I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
The first episode is on Jupiter Ascending. Yeah.
Jupiter Ascending, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
It's not
dumbass
good.
movie.
It's not good.
So tune into that. Find out where all podcasts are found. We'll put the link in the show notes. And we hope you tell your friends, tell your enemies, whatever. If you like movies, you might like it. If not, if you like us, you might like it. If you like movies, you might like it. If you hate us, you probably won't like it.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I don't know why you're watching us in the beginning.
If you didn't like us, yeah, why are you watching this?
Yeah, send us to someone you don't like. Maybe they'll like us. Ruin their day. Okay. Jordan, where are we going this week? Take me away.
This week, our mystery involves not only one of the most mysterious archaeological findings in the world, but it's easily the most dangerous archaeological site in the world.
Okay. As far as we talking like Indiana Jones level of danger? Like whips and a big ball rolling?
It's not that. I mean, not that cool, but.
Do you think is there actually records of booby trapped places for archaeology?
I think a lot of.
Or is that just Indiana Jones?
I think that's just Indiana Jones. Now, I think a lot of people thought, I don't know if this is true or not, that all the tombs in
King Tut tomb.
Yeah,
stuff.
they thought those were cursed, booby traps and stuff like that. I don't think that's true.
I think it was when they opened, there's some old germs that got on them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that, bacteria.
But as far as things being shot out of the walls, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be.
I mean, unless someone got killed, then that would suck. But if
it wasn't me, I would. Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be cool, the Goonies level.
Yeah,
great movie. All right. So we're going to the most dangerous place in the world.
Dangerous archaeological site in the world.
Okay, dangerous archaeological site.
Yeah. This week we're discussing the mystery of the Plain of Jars. Not plain jars.
Jars.
It's not plain jars, but plain of jars.
So an area.
Big old area of jars. Now, a bunch of jars may not sound too mysterious, even dangerous at all.
What's in these jars?
We're getting into that.
Marmalade.
Marmalade?
Yeah. We watched Paddington recently.
Okay.
He likes marmalade.
All right.
Yeah, it's fine. First Paddington's okay. Second one blows. I have kids. What do you want me to do?
We should do that for Watch Pals.
No, I don't want to.
Yes, it doesn't sound dangerous or mysterious. There is a reason why it is mysterious and dangerous, but we'll go into that in a little bit. The Plain of Jars is located in the, I'm going to have to look this up how to pronounce it. I've done it 5 times now. Jingkun province in North Laos.
Laos? What country is that? Is that its own country?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's that at? Southeast Asia?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go, man. Laos is a landlocked country in Southeast Asia. It's bordered by Myanmar, China to the northwest, Thailand to the west and southwest, Cambodia to the southeast, and Vietnam to the east.
Whoa.
It's-
See, they're like, sorry to interrupt, but the thing I don't like about Southeast Asia, they seem to have like the worst bugs. Whenever you hear about big ass bugs or like big gross bugs or snakes or spiders, like it's always Southeast Asia.
I thought that was Australia.
Yeah, them too, but they're so far away from everybody. They don't really count. But like, I would love to live in Australia. That's not true. I would love to go there.
That's not true.
No, I'd love to go there.
I would definitely like to go to that, New Zealand.
But that's like
the
47 hours away.
insane.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
If you can like put me in a coma and I wake up there, that'd be fine.
Yeah,
Too far.
I've done I think I've done like a 12 or 16 hour flight. And that was awful.
No.
It was awful.
You'd have to drug me.
Yeah. And I was like dude, it was, yeah. I know a lot of people take like sleep aids on the planes and stuff like that.
I'd probably get molested or something. No.
On the plane.
I don't know. I'm so scared of stuff like
and
that.
like, what if you get stuck next to someone who just sucks?
Yeah.
As like a traveler.
Farting the whole time.
Yeah, their shoes are off and they're like, socks are off, or there's constantly getting up, going to the bathroom.
I mean, that's okay. People got to pee.
Yeah.
Especially in 16 hours.
I mean, yeah, you're going to have to go to the bathroom, but like, what if the person just sucks?
My problem is I get to myself too worked up and I have to pee too much. I'm like, do I have to pee? Do I have to pee? Do I have to pee? And I just keep on doing that over and over again. And it makes me have to pee.
Yep.
Okay, anyway, go ahead. We're in Laos.
So its geographical positioning to Vietnam plays a vital role in today's mystery. The site stretches over 500 square mile area and is renowned for its megalithic stone jars scattered across the region.
Are we talking like, these are just like buildings shaped like jars? Or are these
No, they're actual
real jars?
Real jars, yeah. There are a total of 90 sites that hold some 2,000 to 3,000 jars.
This isn't like just like 500 square miles of just jars.
No, I mean, there's other stuff there, but they're like the jars are over area of 500 square miles.
False advertising.
2 to 3,000.
Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. False. We'll have to figure out some stupid title for this.
Wait, why is it false advertising?
I thought it was 500 square miles of just jars.
Oh no, like all clumped together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of them. Like you like step in them when you're walking. All right. The bait and switch.
That's how we got you. The jars vary in size with
All
some
four of you.
reaching up to 10 feet in height and weighing several tons. One of which is known as the king jar.
Wait, there's a king jar?
Weighs over 10 tons or 21,363 pounds.
These are like buildings.
I mean, they're size of buildings, but not buildings. They're jars.
A building is a jar, if you think about it, flipped over.
Yeah. No. The jars are made from sandstone or limestone and are often found in clusters of varying numbers, with site one having the largest concentration. There's 90 sites. Each site has 1 to 400 in them. Grand totals 2 to 3,000.
Are these people that just didn't know how to build buildings? They just built jars?
Slept in the jars?
Yeah, like...
That's the thing, though. There's like no... I mean, people live around it, but there's no structures.
Yeah, because the jars are the houses.
Found. Like, that shows like a community was there.
The jars.
Maybe.
They're just jar people.
I didn't see anything like that, but like I didn't
maybe
think
this
about
is the
that.
way society should have went.
Sleep in jars.
It seems like they figured
How do
something
you get in out of there, though? I guess you build a ladder. If you could build a jar, you could build a ladder.
I'd hope so. Especially a jar that big. How would you, if you didn't have a ladder, how would you get to the top?
Yeah. One of the mysteries at the quarry where the sandstone was mined is up to over 6 miles away from where some of these jars are found.
You just rolled them.
I mean, maybe. So they believe that the jars were constructed near this quarry. Okay, sandstone.
And they all got in and rolled down the hill.
Time to move.
Yeah.
Get the kids in. We're moving. Roll the jars. But yeah, I think kind of along the lines of like, how do they build the pyramids? How to be aliens? No, they were able to construct ways to do that. So that's a whole different. Not I'd say a mystery, but like it's more or less like they're clearly able to move them, but like how they did it, they don't quite understand. They could have like rolled them, maybe tipped them over.
Yeah,
but how do they get them back up, kind of thing?
I mean,
they put like slabs under them to like move them and then carry the slabs or push. I don't know. So the landscape in this area is a mix of grasslands, rugged hills, and rolling valleys. So maybe they just rolled them.
Yeah.
In 2019, the Planet Jars was designated a UNESCO, or United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization World Heritage Site due to its unique archaeological and cultural significance.
Wait, what year?
2019.
Took them that long? When did this was discovered?
We're going to go.
Okay.
The recognition highlights the site's role in the understanding of prehistoric Southeast Asian cultures. The planet jars is not only a testament to ancient craftsmanship and engineering, but also a site surrounded by mystery. Its role in human history, possibly spanning over 2 millennia, continues to intrigue scholars, historians, and tourists alike. So we talked about UNESCO before because that became what was that? Glyphs and Nazca lines.
Okay.
That became like a heritage site. So it's highly preserved.
Yeah.
The planet jars was first discovered by Westerners in the 1930s. French archaeologist Madeleine Colani is often credited with bringing international attention to the site in the 1930s, although the local Lao people were always aware of the jars long before. Locals may have not known of the significance of the jars as they had just been there in the background their whole lives. So the locals, I'm sure, like, this goes back possibly 2,000 years, they were just there. Locals didn't know.
Wait, is this in like a deserty area?
No, it's more like
Is it
it's like
junglish?
grasslands.
Okay.
There's some forest, but it's not like.
Do you think
like
of
a
Southeast
jungle.
Asia? You also think of the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, there's that.
But it's
there's
not like that.
No.
Like the plains.
Yeah.
I guess that's why they call it a plain. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not like wet.
They get monsoons there.
You think all the jars filled with water and everybody drowned? That's where they all went?
Well, one of the theories is why they built the jars was because they were used to fill.
Oh, for
Be filled
water.
with water, yeah. Man, this guy's
That's pretty
ahead
smart.
of the game here. So these people grew up with these jars being there. So they knew that, like, they were there, but like it's all became a folklore thing. We're like, why are they here? We didn't build these. Like, did my great grandfather build them? No. It goes back even further than that. But it didn't become a thing until the Western world discovered them in the 1930s.
Until the white people came in and figured it out.
They're like,
yeah.
hey, by the way, this has some kind of significance. And then the locals are like, oh, you want to see more of these? They're like, they're everywhere, man.
This crap everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
What do you weirdos want?
We want to move them.
Will you give us money to like send some people over here for tourism? This is great.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. The colonial studies were foundationally, research was limited by the technology over time, as is the case with a lot of these things we've talked about before.
So wait, these things were just a bunch of jars. And you said, what are the size of those?
Varying in size, man, up to 10 feet.
10 feet tall.
Yep.
And
one was, what was it, like?
the king jar.
Yeah, that's
an awesome.
10 tons, 21,363 pounds.
That's insane. And so we're talking about a 10-foot tall. What's the smallest ones?
I think up
normal
to
size?
like a meter. That's still 3
How
feet.
about real measurement here, Jordan? Okay, 3 feet. Thank you. God.
I think that's the smallest one.
3 feet.
real measurements.
Real.
We're in America.
Okay, so 3 feet is the smallest one.
I think so. Yeah.
That's still half of me.
Yeah.
It's a lot of.
So, yeah. Like, what are you storing in there? Or unless you're living in there.
I mean, water.
Like
But yeah, like
yeah. But
if they're making
that many
towns of them,
2,000 to 3,000 of these things.
there's 90 sites.
Yeah. Varying.
How many towns are around this area?
Ooh.
So like they have all these like these buildups of jars where there are towns near there, or are they just out in the middle of the plain?
They're in the plains, but there are like pockets of like towns there now.
Okay.
Like villages.
Okay, so
But there's no like remnants
of smaller villages next to the big pile of pot.
Right.
That's so
So
crazy.
were they like nomadic people? Or were they
just moving around each time?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but whenever you'd come back, like there'd be like dead animals in there that fell in and stuff.
Yeah.
When it rained.
Dig them out, scoop them out, and boil the water.
What's the point? I don't know.
So early investigations were largely hindered by a lack of precise dating methods, limited excavation techniques, and the absence of comprehensive local knowledge. However, Kalani believed the jars had something to do with burial practices.
Whoa.
But why would you need one?
Was there any bodies in it?
Why would you need that big, though? Those jars.
Got a lot of dead people.
But why would you have that many dead people?
I mean, people been around for a long time.
Yeah. Since Kalani's time, the site has undergone periodic excavations with notable efforts, but both local and international teams, from both local and international teams.
Is it one of those things where like, well, first, people been around a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible they just dump bodies in these things and they
move on?
I don't know why they make a bunch of pots.
Yeah, why would you make big stone pots and like take the time to move them?
Or are these stones that look like pots? I think towards the end of this, I want to look at the actual picture. When you're going into theories, I want to see a picture of these things. Yeah. See if they're like, oh, they're just weirdly shaped rocks that look like people call.
No, archaeologists and historians believe that like they chiseled them.
Okay.
Like there's a stone and they chisel it down to make it look like a jar.
Is there a hole inside?
Yeah. And they found lids too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was intention to these.
Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't
so
like
why? But why? What's the intention? So we'll go into that. Ongoing research, particularly since the 1990s, had utilized modern archaeological techniques such as ground penetrating radar, carbon dating, GIS mapping, leading to important discoveries. This leads some to believe that they were built in the Iron Age, anywhere between 500 BCE to 500 CE. Others think they're possibly older. Some theories suggest the jars could be remnants of early Laos civilization, though no definitive connection has been established yet. The jars may reflect broader cultural exchange within Southeast Asia, such as trade or ritual connections with other ancient cultures, including those in Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam.
Do you think this is one company that was like, I'm going to corner the market on jars? It's like those.
Any size jar you want, small
like,
jars, big jars, one for your whole dead family.
It's like we got all over the plane.
Yeah, everything must go.
Come to our. You said you wanted one in the southeast. Now we're going to bring it to the northeast.
Dead mom, throw it in there.
Yeah,
dead cow, throw it in there.
And so it's one of those things where like the like jackass CEO or like eccentric billionaires like, I'm going to make the biggest jar ever and be the king of the jars. And like he's like, it's like someone making, what was that guy? The guy that owned like airlines that was real eccentric and like hid himself away, and he made like the spruce goose.
Oh yeah. He's in the Aviator movie.
Okay.
Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think it's like that, but it was like Howard Hughes of like pots, and so he made the
Of the
king
Iron
pot, but
Age?
that like brought him down. That was this like crowning glory. He's like, it's gonna be
That's
the most
too
glorious
big.
pot
Pot you've
ever.
ever seen.
Yeah, and then it like
Everyone's just like, why?
he came too close to the
We
sun.
don't need it, man.
Yeah.
Just give us a normal sized pot,
And he died like penniless.
And they threw him in the pot.
And all the pots were just like left over because he flooded the market with pots.
Yeah.
It's like Temu for pots.
Right.
Stone pots.
Temu for pots. So why do you think this area, the Planet Jars, is considered dangerous?
People falling in the pots. Snakes hide in the pots.
I said earlier, it's in close proximity to Vietnam.
Oh, those two don't like each other?
No, that's not it.
Landmines.
Bombing of the
War.
area, between the 1960s and 1970s.
Did they bomb the pots?
Yeah. The Planet Jars were heavily bombed during the Vietnam War from 1960s to the 1970s, particularly in the early 1970s as part of the U.S. covert secret war against communist forces in Laos. Furthermore, the area was also heavily bombed because it was part of the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which is the main supply route for the North Vietnamese during the Vietnam War.
Did they know they were bombing the pot plane?
No.
They just bombed.
They just bombed them. They also probably didn't care. They're just like, whatever.
God.
This area is the most heavily bombed place on Earth.
So there might have been more.
As a result, the U.S. dropped tens of millions of cluster bombs on the area. So obviously, many of the jars were destroyed.
God.
But this bombing campaign resulted in thousands of unexploded ordnances, or UXOs, being scattered across the landscape, whether there would be bombs or mines, or landmines, which complicated research. 35% of this area's total land mass is covered in UXOs. 35%.
Of 500 square miles.
Yep.
It's crazy when you think about how many jars we're talking here.
Yeah, I remember seeing one of Anthony Bourdain's shows where he went to Laos.
Who?
Anthony Bourdain, he's the guy that did
yeah. Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah. He traveled with this company called MAG, which means Mines Advisory Group. So they go around clearing the area. But there's still like insane amount of landmines that are like constantly just out there. Like people constantly dying from them.
Yeah. It's always crazy when you hear about like even to this day, people are kids and stuff are just running into a field and blowing up.
Yep. So obviously it makes it hard for people to like go and like check these jars out.
Yeah.
Like, what is the deal with these? So for years since like the Vietnam War, not much has been like researched or like actual like excavating and like research at the actual sites because there's landmines everywhere that are still active. The jars are typically made of sandstone, although some appear to be made of limestone or other materials. Obviously, the sizes of the jars vary significantly. Like I said earlier, they go from like 3 feet to 10 feet,
Thank you.
weighing several tons. Most jars have a cylindrical or conical shape. Many are decorated with carved motifs or inscriptions, though these are still not fully understood.
I just imagine like a junkyard, but just jars,
Jars, yeah.
like stacked up, like falling over, like
Those in Laos, but there's like this stuff isn't like Laos language or like typical Laos art, I guess, is on the jars. So people are like, the Laos people actually do this, or was it some kind of ancient society? Who in the Iron Age was here, like building this stuff?
Oh yeah, like who would have been here for
Yeah.
that? Like what society? And they must have fallen, right? Because there's no record of them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's no written record. So that's another thing. Like, why? Who were these people that built them? It only adds to the mystery of like who built this and why would they build this?
There's no record of them being around.
There's no civilization really around there either.
Yeah, so it's like, again, it's like one guy owned the whole thing. He's like the land of jars. I'm gonna open up yeah.
This land of jars will be yours someday.
Everything the light touches is a jar.
As I said earlier, some of the sites have a few jars. Some have 400. Site 1, which is the most accessible to tourists, has over 200 jars scattered across a large area. While sites 2 and 3 have fewer but equally impressive concentrations. So they could be heavily concentrated or just spread out.
And they're just like sitting there in the ground.
Yep.
They're not like buried?
No, they're all just sitting up top.
How'd they not get buried over time?
Bombings, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Planes. Yeah, that's a good question, though.
This is fake. Someone just wanted to put these jars out
the
there.
The summits have been found.
How'd they not get covered up?
I don't know.
Over 500 BCE, 500 BC,
yeah,
BCE, like that era. That's a long ass time ago.
I mean, I'm assuming people are still farming in this region too, right? But I don't know if you're like how well that would go if there's a big stone jar that you can't move. But yeah, I don't know how would it be covered up.
I guess is it what makes things get covered up? Like stuff growing back over them, I guess, right?
Yeah. I did see some of the pictures, like you could tell they've been overgrown. But I'm assuming most of the ones I'm seeing are ones that have been actually
out,
like not ripped up, but like cleaned out, just so you like be studied.
Okay, there probably is some underneath some vegetation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although there's no conclusive evidence, it is assumed that the planet jars people used iron chisels to carve them. Little is known about the people who carved the huge containers, and the jars themselves give little clue to their origins or purpose. All right, here we go. We're going to go to theories.
Okay, theories. Hit me. This is theories of what the hell these are.
Yep.
So we got a jar, got a bunch of jars.
Couple lids.
Out made of stone.
Yeah.
Carved, definitely carved with
yes.
A language?
Yeah, there's
some type of written language.
Some kind of like motif on them.
Okay, so it's not language. Because I guess that would determine who it was.
Right, yeah.
And
there's motifs or inscriptions.
Okay.
I'm assuming there might be some kind of language on them. And some of them. Not on all of them.
Okay. But they can't decipher the inscriptions?
No.
Wow.
So do you want to go like craziest, the most likely, or other way around?
If the craziest starts with alien like pooping grounds and like something like nuts like that.
It's just aliens bedpans.
Yeah, this is where they just dropped them off.
Giant bedpans.
No one to clean them in the alien world.
All right, we're gonna go with the local legends, kind of the more ones.
There's goblins hiding them or something like that's
That'd
like
be cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't until recently, obviously, because like Vietnam War happened and like they're still clearing out all these landmines. They're not easily accessible. They're also having the issue with like Laos wants the tourism for people to come and check this out, but like, hey, by the way, like
that'd be an awesome place to go.
We have landmines, so like they also were trying to build their infrastructure, so that's these pots or jars are kind of in the way. So it's like this weird like
you can't put a highway here. There's a bunch of jars and landmines.
It's kind of weird dichotomy with that.
It's crazy that like it's just such
500 square miles. Like that's a pretty valuable real estate for like infrastructure.
But also a really cool place for jars. Like it's a bunch of jars.
Yeah, I mean like
and
there's got to be historical like and
that no one knows. It's not like it was like, oh, it was the Romans.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just dig them out. It's fine. There's enough of that crap around the world.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like they chiseled them. They believe they chiseled them, not like built them. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like put together.
They didn't sculpt them.
Various
they weren't
things.
like
They're just like chiseled out of stone.
Right.
They didn't put together and like glue it.
Like traditional methods of creating pottery.
Yeah. Right.
There's stone jars.
Yeah, they didn't
it's not stoneware.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're like,
So this is a very new thing that they're like figuring this stuff out. But according to local Lao folklore, the jars are said to have been the drinking vessels of ancient giants.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's probably a theory that these are giants.
Yeah. Let us say there was a race of giants who inhabited the area and were ruled by a king named Kun Cheung. Kun Cheung. Cheung and his fellow giants fought a long war, and upon winning, large jars were made to make and store their celebratory alcoholic rice wine.
And they got hammered drunk because they're all
Yep.
empty.
Yeah, they're celebrating.
We have to do a future episode on giants. I'm going to say that because there's so many legends throughout the world of giants.
Well,
Most of them are fake,
yeah.
but like,
Didn't you talk about one where someone went to like Shangri-La or something like that? Not Shangri-La.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There might have been giants there or something like that.
Yeah,
That helped them escape.
what's that town called underneath the Himalayas?
Yeah.
Agartha.
Yeah. Wasn't there some giants with that?
I think so. There's always giants are always part of anything that comes up with like Atlantis, anything.
Yeah.
It's always giants.
Giants are some superior
Race.
advanced race. What do you think of that one? I think that sounds pretty cool.
I'm saying it's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
That would make me go to get on the 35-hour flight to get there.
Another theory is that jars held whiskey for a thirsty giant who lived in the mountains above.
Even better. That's a better theory.
Yeah. So they wanted to keep him happy, so like, let's make him some whiskey.
They just want to keep them drunk so they didn't step on their stuff.
Come down from the mountains, maybe to protect them. Like, hey, we'll give him whiskey. You'll leave us alone to protect us.
He's like, hey, brah, where you guys at? That's crazy.
It was theorized by that French archaeologist in the 30s who believed it had something to do with burial. The most commonly proposed theory is that the jars were used in funerary rituals, either to hold the remains of the dead or as symbolic markers of burial sites. And theorized that the jars were used as a type of crematory where bodies were left to decompose and their remains would be placed or buried elsewhere.
That makes sense.
Apparently, like in the surrounding areas, the bodies would move from urn to urn. And it's a part of a process of like
A mummification type process or something?
that and like a religious process of like dealing with death and like the afterlife. So there's like stages. You go from this urn to this urn, then this urn, then this urn. It's like the whole process of dying in the afterlife. I think it's something
Who
along
is
those
going to
lines.
go out there and lift up Nana and as like partial bones and move her? Because I'm not doing that. They got to pay someone good money to do that. That's terrible. Hey, Nana's like, she's a little rank today. Can you move to the other jar?
So Kalani, this is the French archaeologists who found them in the 30s on a cave near one of the sites. The cave had blackened walls and two chimney openings, leading to believe that there were bodies being burned before being placed in the jars.
A crematorium.
Crematorium, yeah. So they'd then be placed in the jars, and from there it was like again they might be moving from urn to urn to urn.
The king jar.
Yeah, but like why? It would have been a religious thing, so that like other surrounding countries kind of did something along those lines, but it's not proven that they've been doing it here though.
I mean, there's been a lot of weird things with jars throughout human history. Like I think, ancient Egyptians did that thing where they I got in trouble for this when I was student teaching once. There was the different jars they put like the lungs in, the heart in.
Yeah.
The Coptic jar or something like that. But they broke them up and then it was like the different gods got the different body parts.
Yeah.
And so
one of them would weigh, I think, your heart with a feather.
I don't know,
like something like that.
But I taught a lesson on, I think it was Coptic jars, but on that, and we were making them like in art class.
Okay.
Because I soon taught as an art teacher, and they some kid went home and told his mom we were making false idols. So I got in trouble. I was like, no, we're learning about Egyptian history, ancient Egyptians.
There's a golden calf in this room for some reason.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, I think there's a weird thing with jars like throughout human history. So maybe there's something like that. But like,
I mean, that's definitely possible.
Maybe these people were like, we're going to be the jars capital of the world.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, we're not using those anymore.
Yeah. I mean, if the surrounding areas are kind of doing this, then it makes sense that maybe they're doing the same thing.
But that's a lot of jars.
A lot of jars. How many people are you burying? Again, this could be going on for thousands of years that they're doing this. That's why the jar's still there. But again, there's no...
Plus someone making these jars, stone is hard to carve.
Yeah. We'll go into some problems with that, and like some of these other ones. So another thing was that they might have been storage containers.
I mean, that makes the most
practical
sense.
purposes, such as storing
That's what
rice,
jars for.
Food, or liquids such as alcohol, like rice or whiskey, like the rice whiskey or rice wine, or even for water. The rainwater theorized that the jars were there for traveling caravans to collect water on their routes. It's believed that this might have been like a land area that was used as a route between countries. So these jars are built for
like a pit stop.
Smaller caravans or bigger caravans to like fill up,
refuel,
catch water. Yeah.
There's no streams around here.
There's a river, a small river. It's like a tributary. It's a landlocked country, but there's a tributary around there.
Makes the most sense that it would be like filling with water, like
Yeah, because
when
they
it
wait.
rains.
They wait for monsoon season and then fill it up, so you just be there for like until the next monsoon season.
Yeah, that makes the most sense, I would say.
Like you said, they could like get some dead stuff in there. So
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why they have the lids.
yeah. Oh yeah, maybe.
Because the giant came out and knocked all the lids off and he was hammered.
He's like, "Where's my whiskey?" Some scholars suggest that the jars may have served as a ritualistic or symbolic role, possibly connected to religious practices, astronomical alignments, or even as markers for ceremonial sites. In some locations, the jars are arranged in alignment with certain celestial bodies, such as the sun and the stars.
I don't know. I always hate when they do that because it's only one part of the time of year.
Yeah, but there's all those other like big monolithic things that people like. Isn't it like Stonehenge supposed to have some kind of?
But it's like a certain time of year to a certain year. Like every year, they're a different day,
Right.
different year. Like it's
Sometimes
so
it seems like
hard.
a stretch.
Yeah, it's so hard to get it exact. I think is what.
Yeah, I think this. Some people have said it's the same thing with the pyramids of Giza. Like some part of the year lines with certain.
So they can see in like the sunlight would go in. And it makes sense, but at the same time,
I'm not saying these people didn't know how to like
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that either.
But like I don't know, it just seems kind of a stretch.
If they did line it to like the heavens, yeah, it makes sense. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that have to go. Like you got to know where that person was standing when they were doing these alignments. You got to know what time of year it was,
time of day, yeah,
and like as time of night, and then every year it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Or like it's like unless it was like on the summer solstice, it lines up. You know, like that thing. I think that's what Stonehenge is like. Winter solstice, summer solstice, it lines up or something.
So despite numerous excavations, no conclusive evidence has emerged that confirms one specific function over another. Human burial remains ranging from babies to adults have been found near some of the jars, but the absence of human remains in some sites and the lack of written records add to the mystery. Again, like there's no found civilization around any of these places. There's a lack of written records. So like, again, why are they doing this? Why are these being built?
Do you think it were like, this was for a god, like to pay homage to a god?
Yeah, people are like it's homage to God, or like had to do like was animism, like some kind of like spirituality with animals and stuff like that. But that's kind of
so we're gonna talk about that in next week's episode.
Okay.
Animism comes up again.
Okay,
and I think it's an attunement with nature and the way they treat nature.
Yeah,
that type of thing. So like
spirituality, nature. Yeah, but again, like if you're counting on monsoon seasons for water. Again, I don't know what like the wildlife is around there. I don't know like if it's hunting and food scarcity or like I don't know.
Is the region itself they like on a plateau or something? Like
it's a plateau.
So it's just flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are some like hilly areas, but like it's not like
there's no forest. There's not like rolling hills and.
Up until recently, the bodies that were found near the jars weren't buried with any artifacts or sacred objects, making it harder to determine the status of those being buried. So like. Usually when you see, not all cases, but you see like a civilization, someone's buried with like artifacts or like certain materials of like, oh, they might have a higher status in society. Whereas if they didn't have anything, it's kind of hard to determine what their status was, but maybe they were just like lower class people. But then why take the time to go through this whole process of the jars and burning and burying them? However, with the use of ground penetrating radar and excavation techniques, it significantly expanded our understanding of the plan of jars. These methods have revealed additional sites previously overlooked or inaccessible due to unexploded ordnance. Again, like it's a very new thing that MAG organization is being very thorough with removing a lot of these unexploded landmines. And again, this is like a newer thing that like historians and archaeologists are able to go in this area. This is all, I'm assuming at some point this will all be figured out.
Or it won't be figured out to the way that humans want it to be figured out. Like we'll be like, it's probably for this, and it'll be like, no, it was giants,
giants.
Yeah, like there's still so many stories about like stupid pyramids of Giza being like only the tip of the giant tower that's there, that type of stuff. Yeah.
Archaeologists have discovered artifacts such as pottery, stone tools, and jewelry found in the vicinity further support the possibility of human habitation and ceremonial practices. Many of the artifacts found around the jars include tools used for everyday life, as well as finely crafted pottery and ceremonial items. Some of the ceremonial items include incense burners and items associated with offerings. Maybe this is like an offering.
For a god.
Yeah.
For their god. Like they're giving the harvest to the god or whatever.
Yeah. These items suggest that the planet jars was not only a ritual site, but also a place of habitation and community. But again,
They're living in the jars. Told ya.
There's no
Town.
structures. They're
'Cause
finding
the jars are the structures.
maybe, but they're finding things that may lead like historians and archaeologists to believe that like there was some kind of community built around these jars.
So it's either
Giants or burial.
or housing, or so I think the most likely thing is that they were using it to either please a god by filling it up with food and stuff,
Okay.
and like the animals are coming by and eating it.
Well, maybe that's where the giant thing comes into play. Maybe the giants were the gods.
Yeah.
Like we got to fill them up with booze
And then animals were just coming and eating all the
Yeah.
crap.
and the people.
And people were like, where'd all the stuff go?
Yeah.
Or it was they were leaving those jars out there, creating them for a god to fill them to give them a good harvest or whatever. Like fill
For
them
water
for
for
to
monsoon.
support them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be food. Like it could be
That
like
makes sense. Yeah.
we're putting it out there. So like for some reason they were like, hey, we use jars a lot. It's always like the most common things that people need or what turns into what the gods are offering. or
Maybe
whatever.
something that like not necessarily like a lot of these bodies didn't have like things buried with them that might have been sacrificial. You think maybe to get the rain to come to fill the jars, so that's why
Yeah.
the bodies are not
Oh, they're sacrificing people for the rain?
maybe
Because I guess if they're living in an
This is-
area,
this is Iron Age, you know.
they're living in an area, there's not a lot of water.
Yeah, I don't know. Look up the rainfall. I,
Again, when I think Laos, or I think Southeast Asia, I'm like rainforest. So it's always
Yeah.
wet. But that also probably comes from the Forrest Gump movie when they're in there.
yeah, right. So they have monsoon seasons. That obviously rains a bunch then, but like throughout the rest of the year, I'm not sure.
Yeah, is it just like nothing?
Yeah. So the climate is divided into two distinct seasons. Rainy seasons are monsoon from May to mid-October, followed by dry season from mid-October to April.
Get cold?
Well, right now it's 75 degrees,
Damn.
but they're,
The lower hemisphere.
I think they might be on northern.
But it just seems so crazy that these things exist.
2,000 to 3,000, which is insane.
2,000 to 3,000 total?
Yeah, jars,
Total.
varying sizes.
Yeah. Spread out. It has to be something with rain. It has to be something with
Right.
food, like storage, or
So they're in the northern hemisphere.
are they moving nomadically in killing things and putting them in these jars and then like
Yeah, like we're in the Iron
drying
Age.
them out?
Yeah, maybe like we're in the Iron Age where people nomadic. I feel like a lot of times they're like kind of hunkering down because it wasn't necessarily a hunting gatherer society. I think at that point they're kind of establishing
Towns and stuff?
towns and stuff. Yeah. But
Oh, in this part of the world?
yeah, but I think that also might lead to it might being a trade route at the time, which is why
Yeah.
all the jars were there. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, the day we die, they'll figure it out. They're like, oh yeah, there's this letter here.
Yeah, we found there's a letter in the jar. It was
Yeah.
in the king jar of all places.
I think if you fell in the king jar, how'd you get out? I mean, you have to have a ladder, but like crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, because I don't think any actual human remains were found in any of the jars. I don't think. Could be wrong
it had to
about
be
that.
something in the king jar hanging out, like animal bones or something.
Yeah.
Unless there's a hole at the bottom so they can get out. Otherwise, they're just filled with water.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what do you think it is?
I think it's definitely some kind of ceremonial thing. If they found like whether it is a burial or have to do with like burying the dead for religious reasons, or it is used to collect water in the dry, like to help people survive through the drier months of the year. And maybe those people that were found dead nearby might have been sacrifices.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or died in the creation of the jars. Got rolled over by the jars. They were rolled.
Yeah, we lost another one. We're trying to move this 10-ton jar.
I think it has to be. My thought is it's either,
The giant thing would be cool though. That'd be
of
awesome.
course, it'd be awesome, but it's not true. Unless they thought they were feeding or paying homage to a god.
Yeah.
They're putting stuff and they're leaving it for the
That's
god,
what the folklore thing
or
was for.
leaving it for like a spirit to like not hurt them,
Protect them.
keep them away from the village. That's
In
why
the
they did it
bay.
out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of work for like something like that. Or they're making offerings or things. But I think most likely is it was food
Supernatural.
storage.
Okay.
Food storage or water storage, like getting water.
Okay.
Because maybe water was scarce and this was their way of developing an infrastructure for water.
Yeah, maybe in the dry months. Yeah.
Especially because like when you think about like we're talking about that long ago, survival was what determined everything. So like they were thinking water, not thinking about like things like that. Like they were thinking about water and food.
Yeah.
Survival.
Yeah.
For us today, we're like, well, they were probably giants. Those people are trying to survive. Just because it's easy for us to survive now doesn't mean it was easy for them.
Yeah. Yeah, like the giant thing could be a symbolism.
Yeah.
Like keeping something at bay.
The only way to believe the giant thing is if they were doing it for giants is if on the inscription or like the artwork was a giant like drinking it, like hammering one down. But
there it is.
So that's
Plain O jars.
Plain of jars.
Of jars, sorry.
Planet of jars.
Planet of jars.
Planet of jars. You imagine that? It'd suck.
Terrible.
We should make like a amusement park called Planet of Jars. It's just like every ride's a jar theme.
It's falling jars.
Yeah. It'd suck.
That'd be a terrible theme park.
Terrible theme park. We got terrible ideas here, and thank you for tuning in for them. We can't wait to hear what you have to say about this episode. Leave us a comment. Give us a follow. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Give us a critique. You can send us an email at mysteriouspausonline@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on most social media accounts, services, whatever.
Are we on the old Blue Sky?
We are on the old Blue Sky, but I haven't set up the account to actually do anything yet. I probably need to do that. I'm working on it. We are going to continue post everything we got on YouTube. If you want to see us on there, you can. If you want to hear us on there, you can, as well as every other podcast platform of your choice. And that is all I got. Our music is from Bethlehem. Again, that's Bethlehem. You can find their link down below to their Bandcamp. And if you would like to tune into our new show, which will be going up after this show at some point the same week this show goes live.
Yes, this is Mondays. That'll be Tuesdays.
I think so. Yeah. So it'll be New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I hope so.
Either
it's in the theme song.
In that week. Yeah. It's going to post every Tuesday. In that week, we will have the new episode of the Watch Pals. So follow us there. Watchpals.show is the website. We got a social media stuff should be going live around the same time that episode goes live. Website, again, will link you to all those.
Creating an empire, the Pals Empire.
Yeah, just wait till you hear what's next. Again, got other things in my brain. Thank you, Jordan, for being here.
Thanks, Chris, and thank you those who watched or listened.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Many good things for next New Year's, I hope. For the next year, I'd say good luck to everybody out there for 2025.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
We're all counting on you. Please
be nice to everybody else. Be cool. Don't be a jerk in 2025. That's what I'm running on.
Yeah, I think that should be the
Don't be
resolution every year. Don't be a jerk.
Don't be a turd in 2025.
You jerk.
Maybe we'll sell a shirt someday. Maybe like 2026. We're like, don't be a turd in 2025. All right. Till next time. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.